Hello and welcome back to another episode of the We Are Birmingham Blue preview. This week we're previewing Blues versus Sheffield Wednesday in what can only be described as a relegation six-pointer. And joining me this week is Jamie Howcroft from the Wednesday Today Live podcast to preview the big game. Hi Jamie, thanks for joining us, mate.
No worries, pal. How are you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm very good, man. I'm very good. Looking forward to the game on Saturday is probably the wrong phrase. If anything, this is probably one of the games I've least looked forward to, the way we're playing at the minute and really what's on the line at this stage of the season with only 16 games to go. But before we get into the game, well, let's just touch on your team, Sheffield Wednesday. And if you wouldn't mind just telling the Blues fans at home who are watching and about Sheffield Wednesday and how your season's gone so far, starting with that 9-point deduction at the start of the season.
Apart from the fact that we're crap, we're doing all right recently. We've won 7 in the last 11 games. We started off with a 12-point deduction.
Was
and
it 12?
It got reduced to... started off with 12, then it got 6. So now, if we had them 6 points back, obviously we won't be in playoffs at all, but we'd be a lot more comfortable. But yeah, recently, since we had a Gary Monk at the start of the season, who none of us liked. He's been in Birmingham as well, obviously. We had Gary Monk, boring guy, just nothing about him whatsoever. And then when he got sacked, we got Pulis in. He was in for 9 or 10 games or whatever it was. He won one game. He was shocking. So we've just basically got somebody in that's been in club for years, for the last 10 years, Neil Thompson, and he's won 7 out of his last 11. So at the minute, like, probably jinx it now saying this, but we've won 5 in 5 at home. We've won the last 5 games at home, and it's sort of becoming a fortress again. Jinx, but 6 pointers, and then there's Wednesday v Birmingham on Saturday, which is, I think, it's a 12-point, to be honest, mate.
Yeah, it's massive, mate. I think it's like I said, it's the biggest game of the season for us at the minute. It feels like every game is the biggest game of the season, but this one particularly, level on points, where we both are in the league, it's going to be absolutely massive. So on the managerial situation at Sheffield Wednesday, there's a bit of uncertainty at Blues at the minute about what we should do with Aitor Karanka. But is that the situation at Sheffield Wednesday? Is there uncertainty around the manager in terms of is he going to stay full time, long term, or is it just sort of a understanding where he'll be there to the end of the season and see what happens?
Well, to be honest, it's our chairman. We're having a nightmare with our chairman. Nobody knows what's going off. In January, we were supposed to make signings. We haven't made one signing. We signed Andre Green, Andre Green, who's coming and then got injured like they do at Wednesday. And then we've got brought Sam Hutchinson back. So Sam Hutchinson were with Wednesday for years. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's class. And his defensive midfielder is absolutely class for us. And then he's gone to Cyprus for a 6-month holiday, I think, and played in Cyprus for 6 months. Then he's come back and he's just solid it all up again. He's like made it all good again at back. As for manager, it's one of them where if it looks like he's going to have a job to end the season, fact, like nobody's going to come in now.
Yeah.
And he's doing a good job. And at the end of the day, if he doesn't do well, he's not one of them that's going to get sacked. He's going to go straight back into the background at club and work with club again in youth and all that, like he has been doing. So
okay.
A bit different for his situation too, to be honest. I think Karanka's crap, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. I don't think he's very good. But yeah, we're both struggling.
Right, listen, I think you'll find it hard to find a Blues fan who doesn't agree with that at the minute. I think a lot of people were willing to give him time at the start of the season, talk about a project, blah, blah, blah. And we've had a managerial merry-go-round for years now. And we thought, right, Aitor Karanka, bit of stability. Will we find mid-table this season, potentially build and try and go again? And it just doesn't happen. And I think, like I said, there's a lot of optimism and a lot of people in recent weeks were giving the benefit of the doubt or blame the players, blame the CO, lots of different factors. But now I think, like I said, I think you'll find it hard to find a Blues fan who really doesn't think anything other than the fact that Aitor Karanka is not going to be the man to take Blues forward.
It's the fact that we're the size of Wednesday and the size of Birmingham. It's ridiculous. But the thing is, with Wednesday, at least they've had that push to playoffs like last few years. No matter how crap we are now, Birmingham have never had that. They're always about mid-table. They're not even mid-table. They're always near bottom. Like Karanka, what result were it they had at the weekend? Were it Middlesbrough? A few months ago when they beat Middlesbrough?
We beat Middlesbrough 1-0, but it was a 1-0 where we scored with 20 minutes into the game and we just departed the bus for 5 at the back. You know what I mean? It's just not.
This is what I mean. A result like that is what keeps him in job. Do you know what I mean? Like we just wanted him to keep losing and not get that one good result.
Yeah.
Because then that one good result, the job for another few weeks. Do you know Jake, the Birmingham fan?
I don't know him personally, but I know of him, of course.
He's one of my mates. I speak to him a lot about Wednesday when they play Birmingham and all this blah blah blah. We have a bit of banter about stuff, but even he's shitting himself. He's not hopeful at the minute with Birmingham. So Yeah, I don't know. I can see them both struggling, but I can see Wednesday staying up a lot more than I can Birmingham, unfortunately, mate.
Well, absolutely, mate. And if we look on just basic form, Sheffield Wednesday, your form, like you said, we had good results recently. You got 3 wins and 2 losses in the last 5. We're on 2 draws and 3 losses. Our last win, as we touched on, was the Middlesbrough game, and I can't see where our next win is coming from, to be honest. We showed a few positive things potentially against Wycombe and Middlesbrough, but the last 2 games, I mean, Luton last Saturday was one of the worst performances I've seen for a long time, probably all season. And then we've gone to Millwall last night at the time of recording this, and really not really troubled them at all. Yeah, we had a lot of the ball, but we just don't like scoring a goal. So, I think you're definitely in a lot better form coming into it. And basically, from what you've said so far, I'm presuming you're quite confident that you guys can still get out of it.
Oh, 100%, yeah. I'm a pessimistic Wednesday fan. All Wednesday fans are. You're a Birmingham fan, so you look out for what Birmingham are doing. If you ever type in #SWFC on Twitter on a match day, Jesus Christ, if we go 1-0 down, that's it. We're getting relegated to League 2 Conference. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I can't see us not staying up. Like, we're only a few points, but I think the clubs that need to get dragged into it, clubs like QPR, but then they won last night, and then you've got clubs like Coventry, and then they'll pick up a little result, and it's just, I don't know, all these clubs that I think could get dragged back down into it, they just don't. You've got to stop thinking this club's too big to go down, like Birmingham and Wednesday, blah, blah, because it don't matter how big they are. We're both struggling, but I can see Wednesday staying up. But then again, with Birmingham on Saturday, that is a typical Wednesday game to lose against a team that's not won in this long, and we haven't lost at home in this long. That's a typical Wednesday thing to do, to go and lose. Yeah,
that sounds like similar to us in recent years. You go into those games at the bottom of the league thinking, it's bottom 3 to guaranteed slip up for us. But the minute like this season, we've not had any games where we've even gone into it, I'd say, really looking to say, yeah, we can really get a result in. I think last Saturday at Luton, there was a weird optimism, we might get something out of that, and we put in the worst performance of the season. So honestly, it's just crazy.
Half time, like, what's Cranker saying at half time? Like, with Monk and Pulis, I was the same as you now, but when they're going in at half time, losing all time or drawing, then coming out and losing, what is he saying? It doesn't seem like there's any expression from him at all, from your manager. Like, on his face, he's just like blunt, and like there's just no emotion, sort of thing. And I don't like, at half time, if I'm a football player, I could just imagine walking into the changing room with him and not being like, yeah, come on, let's get up for it, like a Gary Megson or Chris Wilder at Sheffield United, or Jurgen Klopp. You know what I mean? You want somebody who's going to get a win at half time, and I just can't see him, just like with his boring personality, like getting a team going. No. I think that's the problem.
I absolutely agree. And the game at Luton, we'll touch on that again. You look at Nathan Jones on the touchline compared to Aitor Karanka in the last 5 minutes. Nathan Jones is screaming. He's putting everything he's got into getting his team motivated. We need a goal, and Aitor Karanka's got his hands in his pockets, and he comes out and does an interview after the game saying, yeah, if we play like that, I can't see us getting out of this, to be honest. And it's just not what you want, is it? It's to inspire a team, So it's just one of them. And talking at teams, is there any important team who's going into the one on Saturday from Sheffield Wednesday point of view, and who are the sort of players that Blues fans should really be looking out for that are going to cause us a problem or two?
Well, Luke Shaw, I don't know if you've heard about Luke Shaw, but he's just signed a deal with Celtic. He's a Wednesday fan from Sheffield. He's just broke into a Wednesday team. He's played about 8 or 9 games for us, scored a few goals, got a few assists. Yeah. He's been like the massive, bright star sort of thing, and he's just signed for Celtic. So I would normally say him. So as for anybody else, the obvious is Barry Bannan. He can change a game with his passes. He always does. It just depends how people play around him, because a few years ago when Barry Bannan were not playing very well, we had players like Forestieri and Ross Wallace and Gary Hooper and all these players around us to sort him up. But now there isn't. We haven't got much quality in the squad, so it's a bit different. So I would say Sam Hutchinson, defensive midfielder, he can change a game because he's just solid. Westwood's decent in net, but I think going forward, Jordan Rhodes has got 2 and 3. If anyone's going to score, I reckon it'll be Jordan.
Yeah, Barry Bannan, he just seems to score against us every time, mate. Obviously, he's ex-Villa. I think he scored against us in the home game this season. I think he scored against us last season. He just always seems to pop up with his 2 or 3 goals a season against Blues. Whether it's a penalty or a shot from outside the box, he always seems to be involved against us. So,
dubious penalty
Yeah, it was a dubious one, but again, that's what I mean. He's always there against us, and he always gets one against us. And in terms of Sheffield Wednesday as well, mate, just to ask you on how you play and your style. I mean, last night we went to Millwall. They stuck 10 men behind the ball and said, "Right, come on, then come and play." Normally, what we try and do to teams with little effect, to be honest. So, is that sort of style at Sheffield Wednesday, or is it a good attacking style? What's the style now under the new manager?
I don't really know how to explain it, mate, other than we play 3 at back with 2 at wing, so the wing backs and whatever. So we've essentially got 5 at back. Then we've got the 3 midfield, 1 defensive, and then we just play up to top and sort of. We've got Patterson and Rhodes at minute that started last 2, but apart from that, we just chop and change every week. Windass used to get a game now. We've done. I think all Wednesday fans will say to you is out of them 7 wins out of 11, apart from Bournemouth where they played quite well the first half.
Yeah,
we don't know how we've won. We don't know how we've won, but the fact is, when you're winning, when you don't play very well, that's when you stay up, and that's when you go up as a promotion team. So as far the style of play, the style that we play is that we just seem to be really good at the back and just seem to nick a 1-0 or a 2-0. So I really don't. I wouldn't know, mate. I wouldn't know how to explain that other than that we're not playing well. We haven't played well in ages, but we're picking up results.
Yeah, that's it. You're grinding out results again. That's something we can't seem to do at the minute. Can't seem to get a nick a draw, nick a win. But in terms of that as well, is there at Blues? There's definitely some sort of psychological or mentality issue with the players. And I saw that it was a weird result. You guys lost 4-1 to Millwall. Is there some sort of vulnerability there in terms of if they do go a goal down? Just from a Blues perspective, trying to grasp at any potential positives from the game, what we can look forward to. Is there some sort of mentality thing there for Wednesday as well?
Yeah, it's a good point that, mate, to be honest, because at Millwall, there's a kid called Dom Howson who does all Wednesdays, the star of the newspaper, all build up and all this. And as soon as we went to play Millwall, just before kick-off, he goes, "Oh yeah, so Millwall are rubbish at home. They're not good enough. The crap, blah 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 blah. They haven't won in this long." And all Wednesday fans went, "You prick!" Like, I don't know if you need to edit that word out or whatever, but all Wednesday fans were like, "You complete dipstick." Now it's obvious what's going to happen in it. You jinx. It's just anyway. At Millwall. Before Millwall, all these games that we've played, we've either gone 1-0 up and stayed 1-0 up and it's finished it, or we've gone and it's always been just before half time, or when we've gone behind, like at Millwall, we went in front 1-0. They got an equaliser just before half time at wrong time, stupid tackle for a penalty for them, and in second half we just collapsed. That was it, simple. So for Birmingham, I'd said to give them a tiny bit of hope is they have to score first because we don't score many goals. But Birmingham have to. If Wednesday score first, Wednesday aren't going to lose 2-1 at Hillsborough. So if Wednesday do score first, there's no way. Well, here we go again, jinxing it. There's no way Birmingham going to score 2, and there's no way Wednesday going to concede 2. So I reckon Birmingham have to score first. I think your game plan should really be trying to stick it at 0-0 till second half, midway through second half, and then go for it. That's personally what I think.
Yeah, I think on that analysis, what you just said there, I can hear the word 0-0, 1-0. So from that, we're thinking very low scoring game in terms of how many Sheffield Wednesday could potentially concede. And like I said to you, again, we were playing against teams like Wycombe, went to Millwall, went to Luton at home. We're not looking like we're scoring loads of goals, and we're not looking like that we can keep a clean sheet or concede less than 2, so it's going to be a tough one. So to finish off on that, mate, I want to get a score prediction from you, from yourself again. Looking forward to Saturday. What are you thinking then in terms of a score prediction at Hillsborough?
I'm thinking 2-0 Wednesday, but it could easily be 1-0 Birmingham. That's my honest prediction, because Wednesday are lowest scorers in division, I think. One of the lowest, second lowest, second for shots on target all season, but we're also one of the most solid defences. So it could go either way, mate. As cliche as that is to say, it could go 1-0, 2-0 to Wednesday, or it could easily go 1-0 to Birmingham. What do you think?
I think an optimistic prediction, from myself, would be 1-1. I can't see us not conceding a goal at the minute, the way we're playing. I mean, we go against Millwall again, go back to that game. Last night, 2 minutes in, I don't know if you've seen the goal, but Mikel San Jose has played a back pass to the keeper, a 2-yard back pass. He's got 1 yard on it, and the guys run through and scored a tap in inside 2 minutes. Every single week, there seems to be individual mistakes creeping in. So from a Blues perspective, I can't see us keeping a clean sheet. And I think, it's one of those games where we need to win, and at the minute I can't see us winning. So I'll go for a 1-1 and see if Blues can get something out of the game. But again, that's not going to be enough at this stage of the season, really for either team, I suppose. But it's particularly not Blues, especially in the run of form that we're on.
Yeah, well, we'll see, mate, won't we? Before we do go as well, I have to mention a lot of Wednesday fans have tweeted in as well saying if you're speaking to a Blues fan, you've got to mention that. Can you remember the Wednesday goal when Wednesday beat you 2-1 with a fan behind the net? And What do you call it? In the executive box behind the net when Wednesday scored and Wednesday.
Oh, the box. The box. Yeah.
You're standing like this.
Yeah,
against the glass. Glasses on, and we scored again. We made it 2-1. What did Birmingham fans make of that video?
I have seen that recently on Twitter circulating. It sort of went a bit viral, didn't it? It went on a few football pages and stuff, and the score at 1-0 and 2-1. Listen, that's just one of them, innit? It's just you've absolutely given it stacks behind the glass wall, and it's not come off for you, has it?
Why have you got to think it behind the away end's net?
Yeah. The box position is a weird one, especially right next to the away fans. You'd think they'd keep that for a sort of hospitality for the away fans, wouldn't you? But obviously on that particular fixture, there was Blues fans in there, and obviously thought it was great fun to give the Sheffield Wednesday fans stick at 1-0 up, but then it's not paid off at the end for them, has it?
We always seem to get a result at Birmingham. We actually have you been to Wednesday v Birmingham at Birmingham's ground?
Yeah.
You've got to admit, like, not just come out because I'm a Wednesday fan. We're quality away from all our fans, aren't they? The good fans.
Yeah, listen, I think both Blues and Sheffield Wednesday, you touched on it earlier, like big clubs and sort of the amount of numbers you can take to away games, and Hillsborough at them as well, quite easily fill that on a regular basis if there's good football up there. As you said about the playoffs, I remember a few seasons ago, you guys were up there in the playoffs and selling out Hillsborough most weeks. So yeah, I think that the fans are brilliant. It's a shame that they're not in there. I think the atmosphere would have been massive for the weekend for the game. But listen, good luck, mate. I hope the best team wins on the day. Like I said, I can't see it being Blues. Obviously, I hope we do get a result and we get some sort of momentum to get us out of the mess we're in. But I really appreciate you joining us, Jamie, mate. And thanks for joining us and good luck again for the weekend.
Yeah, no worries, pal. You too. Take it easy, mate.
Thank you. So that was Jamie Howcroft from the Wednesday Till I Die podcast. If you haven't already, listen to the new episode of the We Are Birmingham podcast before Saturday's game with Sheffield Wednesday. And until next time on Blue Preview, keep right on.